Shit.
We came to a conclusion, Miko.
What?
We came to a conclusion that Brent Grimes is the best defensive player in the NFL. Would you like to know why?
Yes, tell me why.
Because teams are willing to put up with your ass.
Yes.
Yes, because
you got to stop posting clips of him and post clips of you.
You see, the Seahawks wouldn't sign Colin Kaepernick allegedly because of Nessa. Because Nessa.
Right, that's ridiculous. We all know that's not why. They just use that as an excuse.
How would you handle this if you was Nessa? Nessa's a great friend of mine. How would you handle this if you was her?
Well, see, this is the thing. The problem Nessa has is that Kaepernick isn't a Brent Grimes. He's not arguably the best player in his position. You know what I mean? He's not top 5 in the league, and he's also a quarterback. So a lot of people know that the quarterback is the face of the organization. So if you have someone that's taking a stand or even being loud or obnoxious, they allow it from the other position. Any other position on the field, you can have a rude wife, a rude brother, whoever you want. But for some reason, the quarterback position is that position that they hold, up above everyone else. So you have to be clean cut, unless you're white. Because, a lot of people don't know that a lot of these quarterbacks are alcoholics, drug addicts. They beat their wives, too. But the league covers it up. So as long as you're doing stuff that they're willing to cover up, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
so
I definitely.
Kaepernick,
okay, what you say?
Kaepernick is not. They're hating on him because they're trying to say he's not a starter, which clearly he's better than at least 8 starters in the NFL right now. At least 8 of them, minimum.
What quarterback rating do you think you need to care about black people?
It shouldn't matter. I feel like a motherfucker on the practice squad should care. A motherfucker that's on the bench, the special teams. None of that should matter. It shouldn't matter your position on the field if you're standing up for something that is true. The minute he stands up for something that's not true, then it should matter. But everything he's saying is true. It's a fact.
Yeah,
it shouldn't matter.
That's the thing that gets me, even when it comes to these guys like Jason Whitlock, the Ray Lewises of the world.
Oh my
like,
God.
look, man, even if you don't like the way he protested, you cannot be against what he's protesting about. Like, he's protesting about police brutality and the unjust killings of black and brown people at the hands of the police. Like, Michael Bennett just came out today and said he got fucked up by the police in Vegas, which I knew about. And there's a
video of it.
It's a video of it, which I knew about for a while.
Yeah.
He hit me when it happened, you know what I'm saying? But he would say he was just waiting to get the video before he came public with it, which was very smart of him, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, if that shit can happen to Michael Bennett, that shit can happen to any fucking body.
Right.
So it's like, how can you act like these things aren't happening? And guess what? Michael Bennett is an upstanding citizen, gives to his community all the time. NFL player, was fucking leaving the motherfucking Mayweather-McGregor fight, and it was a case of wrong identity. Mistaken fucking identity, and they got this motherfucker on the ground. Mm-hmm. Like, come the fuck on.
Reason.
Come on, man.
Handcuffs and everything. Like, why do you need to handcuff a nigga? Like, why you can't just ask him, any questions you want and let him go on about his business? Like, it's crazy to me that they want to handcuff us because they're afraid of us. Black skin is a fear for these motherfuckers, and that badge and that gun still don't make them feel powerful. They still want to kill us. Like, my nigga, you got the gun, you got the badge, you got the power. You still want to kill us? For what?
So what we learned from Miko today is you have to be Tom Brady's wife to tell people suck a dick. All right?
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady is good enough, right? Like Tom Brady could sit for the national anthem. Tom Brady could sing the ISIS national anthem, and there'd still be people that were willing to sign him to a team.
Yep. Wouldn't give a fuck. And you know what else is crazy about this whole thing? You cannot fire someone or not hire them because of their family members. They can actually have a lawsuit if the owners actually said that. But you see, they got little minions and little fuckboys like Ray Lewis and Whitlock saying it because the teams will never say it. When the owner of the Dolphins said that a part of the reason that he got rid of Brent was because of me, I could sue them motherfuckers, but we don't care about them. You can't. What if I divorced Brent? What if he left me or something happened and I'm still talking shit? I'm still saying stuff. You can't stop somebody from getting a job because of somebody in their family says something.
Oh, so Nessa might have a lawsuit then, because Ray Lewis said that he was with the owner. Nessa might have a lawsuit.
She could. If she could prove that, because he said the owner, but the owner's just going to say, I never said that.
Right, because it's going to be somebody else's words.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hold a job from someone because of a family member. That's not in their contract. If I do something, Brent still has a contract. I have nothing to do with the contract.
Right.
Like, for example, this hurricane shit. I'm trying to get my family the fuck out of here, and all the other wives have already left. because the guys are still stuck here. So I want to leave without him. But if for whatever reason that hurricane hits here, guess what? The team is going to take the husbands on a plane and private and fly them the fuck out of here. We are stuck here. They have nothing to do with us. They will not save us.
I bet you don't take the dog. I bet you don't take the pets.
Hey,
take the pets, lead a wise.
Hey, you just said you're not signed to the team, though. That's fine.
Yeah, they're not. We are not affiliated with this team whatsoever. They do not care for us. They don't feed us. They don't take care of us.
That's real.
Hurricane. We on our own. That's why you cannot be responsible for whatever. Somebody can't be responsible for what their significant other, family member, anyone says, because the team has no rights to them whatsoever.
Question. So there's this idea that Colin Kaepernick has been blackballed from the league. Do you subscribe to that ideology?
People are trying to change what the definition of blackballed means, so I try not to use that word. I basically say that these motherfuckers do not want anyone, let alone the quarterback, to stand up for black people. That takes a lot of dominoes fall if they allow this to happen. A lot.
It is obvious at this point.
Well, here's the thing.
It's very obvious.
Here's the thing. I was speaking to a buddy of mine in sports, and he said it's a little bit more tricky than that. He said,
break it down.
Well, this is what he said to me, and this is why I'm curious to hear your perspective on it. But he was like, so basically, an owner or a GM of a team or head coach, or whatever, has 3 or 4 or 5 assistants, right? Mm-hmm. And these assistants all weigh in on their perspective on if a quarterback is, a good fit for the team. And the team might, and, a couple of assistants might be like, yes, we can definitely use Kaepernick. And then a few of them might say, listen, we don't have he's got a great arm, but he's not accurate enough for our receivers. Our receivers don't run good enough routes where he can get them the ball just because he doesn't have that accuracy. So 3 of them might say, yes, 2 of them might say no, or vice versa, right? He goes, but what you have to understand is this is not every team in the league, because every team in the league doesn't need a backup quarterback. There are plenty of teams in the league that have backup quarterbacks. So this is maybe 5 or 6 teams that could use a backup quarterback. And of those 5 or 6 teams, you have a few, assistant coaches that might side with him and a few that might side against him. That it's not this league-wide, we do not want Kaepernick to be on the team, and that's kind of like weird media spin on this story.
I would believe that if football people would come out and say that they didn't sign Kaepernick for football reasons. They asked Tom Coughlin the other day, he said, I just wouldn't sign Kaepernick, and I got my reasons.
Flat out.
I got my reasons. What does that mean?
But he was one of the teams that could have possibly used a backup quarterback.
And he didn't give no football reasons. He said, I got my reasons.
But Miko, there are teams that, and correct me if I'm wrong, that just don't need Colin Kaepernick, right?
It's what it is, Schulte. This is exactly what it is. If you don't need Kaepernick, you're like wiping your brow like, whew.
I don't have to be answered that. You got football reasons to answer that question.
That's interesting. Right, okay, I got you.
Don't fit my scheme. I got a backup. Cool. The other motherfuckers are the ones trying to make up excuses, my nigga. Like, there's plenty of teams that are just making up excuses, but there are plenty of teams that also do not need him, don't want him. I get that. Everybody don't need Colin Kaepernick. You are correct. However, you cannot tell me that there's not a team in this league that don't need him to start, or at least as a backup. There are plenty. And if he was not doing what he's doing, there's no question in my mind. First of all, he wouldn't have opted out. That's another thing you guys need to understand. People keep saying, well, he opted out. He gave up that money. No, the opt-out is almost like what happened to Coughlin in New York, nigga. You going to get fired or you going to say you retire? Which one you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So that's what his opt-out was. It was, we're getting rid of you. We're going to save you some face by letting you opt out. That's it. That is clear.
Gotcha. Okay.
If he hadn't been doing this, there's no way he wouldn't have been on the roster already.
So
he's actually been kneeling, but a fan recognized it. And now
that's the most interesting part about all of this. The fact that he was kneeling for a while and nobody noticed until like the 4th or 5th time he kneeled.
Until they started losing. They were like, the fuck is this guy saying?
It was in preseason.
It was in
preseason.
Oh, I didn't know.
My dad and my son don't stand at the games. I always stood before. The only reason that I stood is because people always assume that it's a hate towards the military. And then once I got to the point where I was like, I don't give a fuck that y'all think it's about the military. I support the military.
I have never pledged allegiance to the flag. You know why? Because I'm a Jehovah's Witness. How about that?
Okay.
Jehovah's Witness.